Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk everything animation here, including Rick and Morty, which we'll be getting into today. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hey, y'all.
And Michelle Anderer.
Hello.
Today, Delaney, Michelle, and I will be having our recap podcast for the latest episode of Rick and Morty, The Whirly Conspiracy. Aired last night on Adult Swim. As always, we'll be getting into everything Whirly Conspiracy. Very super serious title for a super serious discussion here. And we talk Rick and Morty every week here on the Overly Animated Podcast. You can check us out at overlyanimated.com or search for us, search for our Rick and Morty specific feed or our main feed on iTunes or your favorite podcatcher by searching Overly Animated Rick and Morty. We also, as always, we'll have our second Rick and Morty podcast up in a few days, the panel discussion. So look for that as well. Make sure to subscribe to us so you don't miss anything. Spoilers for, Whirly and all these episodes, but let's get right into things. Delaney, did you enjoy the Whirly Conspiracy? And, what are your initial reactions to it?
I did really like it. It was a really interesting episode. The Jerry-Rick dynamic is, not something we get to see often because Jerry sucks and, He doesn't get to go places. It was just funny. It was interesting to see Jerry kind of, actually as the main character this episode. I mean, he still sucks. There's to be no confusion that he is still awful, and I hate him. And I don't know, the episode was just fun. The concept of the episode's really great. It's an amusement park and you can't die. And then of course there's people there and they're like, okay, there's this one little spot and we want you to kill Rick. Okay, that seems pretty standard. That's pretty cool. And Jerry's awful and wanted to kill Rick, which that's understandable, but it's still awful. And I was still really mad at him. And I was kind of hoping Rick was gonna rip his spine out of his body. But watching him grovel and Rick just totally just savage him, being you're a predator, you're just pathetic and all this stuff. So I really liked the episode. I think there's a lot of neat stuff going on in it, and it was visually very striking. And then it was just an interesting dynamic. I liked it a lot. I don't think it was necessarily amazing. I do think it's on par with the other really great episodes this season though. I really enjoyed it.
Nice. And as always, Delaney is our Jerry expert, so we'll be going to her for all our Jerry questions.
Gonna be a lot of Jerry questions this time.
Yeah, we have our Jerry expert for the Rick and Jerry. I just forgot to say the Rick and Jerry episode. Yeah. So, Michelle, what are your thoughts on Whirly Conspiracy?
I liked this episode. I liked it more than the Vindicators, I think. Slightly more. And yeah, there were a lot of good moments. I really liked when Jerry got sucked through the vent and his body was just so messed up, and then he reformed, and then there was this the secret people out to get Rick. Who also had to put on a show for kids, which is really sad and hilarious. And just the stuff with Summer, this is one of my favorite B plots in a while, I think, because it just even the resolution with Beth was so funny to me.
And they're growling
growling, but as they're having the mom teen daughter fight as flesh monsters, and it's so good. That was really lovely. And even just the stuff with the machine and how she was calling the number and the people were inside the machine and she accidentally let them out to get their momentary freedom for one of them died. It was just I don't know. A lot of those touches put it over the edge for me in a way that Vindicators didn't quite, even though I don't think there's been a bad episode this season so far. But yeah, and it reaffirmed my hatred of Jerry, but it wasn't as awful as I thought to see him hold a whole episode as a main character.
Yeah,
so,
I
liked it.
Your first highlight was Jerry being brutalized, so I'm not surprised that not the biggest Jerry fan here. That's the first thing you mention is Jerry just being ripped through the fan. Wow, oh man, a lot of Jerry rage. Very
thing you just remember.
Yeah, that's your most memorable moment. Yeah. I think the Whirly Conspiracy is a good episode. I'm not the biggest fan of this. I've seen a lot of positive reaction to it, so I guess I'm in the minority here. For me, this is by far the worst episode of the season, and there's not a lot of highlights. Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of think the entire, I'm not saying you like the B plot. I kind of thought it was a complete dud. I didn't think almost anything landed for me in it. I did like the moment with Beth and Summer. But I don't
not even when the little people ran out because they had freed themselves.
Not really.
My favorite part of the episode.
I think that was that funny. And like the stinger was maybe our worst stinger ever, and just a retread of previous jokes that the show's done. I mean, I'm pretty sure this show has done like the Hawk taking a small thing joke. If not, then it really seems like it has. And in terms, there's things I liked, so I don't think it's bad. But there's like a lot happening. I mean, any episode with like a trippy drug sequence is not going to be my favorite. I think those
right.
I kind of think those never succeed, and I don't think this one really succeeded. I did kind of like that it was a Tree of Life parody, but at the same time, I don't know, it didn't really provide value to me. There's a lot of concepts here, and I don't think the episode spends enough time on any of them.
I felt that way about when they like the three of them meld minds. Like that was an interesting idea, but I don't think they had enough time to spend on it to make it feel more than like a cool idea that's gone after a second.
Yeah, I definitely think that. I think the first half of this episode's pretty good, and then the second half is just kind of rushed and a mess. Where we get into like the trippy sequence and the resolution of the B plot. There's concepts I like. I like the immortality field. The funniest moment of the episode is for me when it goes down and then the kid shoots her sister and
so awful. I was like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
I laughed so much at that. Lisa, like, oh my god, that was the best moment of the episode for
me. The way
me.
he said it was like so genuinely innocent. Yes. I think that's what pulled it off.
It was so good. But they don't. That's all they do with it though. Like they have like some interesting concepts here, but they don't do anything. So there's no like over the top like standout hilarious side character. All the side characters are duds here in this episode, and there's no even though Risotto Groupon is an incredible name.
It really is.
His character though is nothing. But yeah. So I don't know. This is potentially also just one of the worst episodes of the show for me, but we'll see. We'll get into it, and we'll see if we can pick it apart. But I don't know. I think that we're doing nothing was that smart, and everything was too fast. Would be my short review of it. But yeah, so I said that's my highlight. My standout moment is the mortality field going down. Delaney, do you have a favorite favorite like gag or standout moment of the episode to you?
Like I really like the immortality field too. I don't really
like we also had Dumb Rick. That was another gag we did.
Okay, that was really funny. Yeah. Like I liked it. Like obviously it's terrible, and I hate Jerry, but it was really funny when he was like punk and he's like, "Yeah, you little bitch." Like
yeah,
like I want cookies. Like I just like, that was really funny.
Drool.
Like, yeah, like it was just. Like, I really liked that whole thing. And, like, even when they set it up and it was like, well, it's, like, bad for business. Like, the terrorists can still get on, but they're not going to do anything. Like, I really liked that. Like, that was funny. That was pretty good.
Yeah. I want cookies and a 90-minute cut of Avatar, says
yeah, that was, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Yeah, like I think that's a good concept. I don't think they do that much with it. There's a few funny lines.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. Yeah. And then it's, yeah.
I think that's just a really smart concept though of like in the future this is how we deal with like no fly lists is you just inject we still want to take the terrorist money, so we'll just like inject them with a dumb serum. Like that's how it's gonna be handled. I think that's great, but again, I don't know if it goes anywhere, but there are a few lines there. Michelle, any standout gags? You mentioned you liked the Beth and Summer confrontation with their like inside out skin forms.
That was really great, but also just like
great.
When Beth calls the like enlarging race customer service, and Morty's like, Mom, I don't think you should do that. I kept like wondering if when she pressed the button, it was gonna like explode or something. But knowing that the tech support people were literally trapped in the machine was like way funnier to me. So I really liked that moment. Yeah.
Especially when she's still on the phone. She's like, okay, I pressed the button.
Three little men ran out. Now what do I do?
That was really good.
Like, beside himself with frustration.
Yeah. It's like, to us, that was obvious because like we had the split screen, but to a reasonable person, they would not have made that connection.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I also liked Morty like just being a bitch to everybody. Like,
yeah, it's a big episode for Morty standing up for himself.
He's like so done with everything.
Threatening Ethan and then actually morphizing Ethan.
I was so disappointed because when he was talking to him in the fire, I thought like, oh, how's he gonna get him back? And I thought, well, if like Summer was really insecure about her breast size, maybe he's gonna shrink Ethan's penis. And then he just messed him up like normal. It's like, damn it, that would have been way funnier though. If he had a really smart penis his whole life, that would have been awesome. Oh my God. But like they didn't. They just messed him up all over. So I was a little sad.
How would you convey that visually though? Like
he just climbs and cries. I don't know. I mean, I feel like there are ways.
I like Michelle like shouting at the TV. No, you should have done this. That would have been a good thing. I agree. I guess it doesn't really pay off until the stinger, but yeah. Delaney, any other moments you remember that you liked?
Well, I just like when Summer like finds the machine and she's just like talking and she's like just everything she says during that sequence is hysterical, and then it misses and like everything fucks up. Like that's great. Like I just liked that.
I love when like she accidentally gets like one of her breasts like way too big. She's like, oh, well, I'll just do the other one anyway. You've already gone too far. There's no
like, it's back super from
funny.
This.
Yeah, we like the Summer manual boob job scene. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's pretty funny.
My favorite line from the B plot, really the only one that landed for me, to be honest, was Summer saying, oh yeah, Ethan, what do you have in common with Trisha Lang? A mutual love of French cinema, the belief that a carbon tax is the only viable solution to climate change, or could it be her massive stripper titties?
Yeah, no, that's... Yeah, no, that was really good.
That's like a classic Summer line, I think.
Like, I love Summer. She's so funny.
That's like Summer's character in a nutshell. Like, she's just like obviously very smart and can say things like the carbon tax thing, but then is just not interested, just consumed with stupid teenage girl stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So I did enjoy that part. Yeah, like once we leave the resort, like the episode does a lot of things. Yeah, we had dumb Rick. We had the wormhole and the trippy sequence. And then Delaney, do you have any takeaways from the trippy wormhole sequence?
I mean, I didn't like dislike it. It was funny because they talked about the temporal blah blah blah, like fell away, and they started doing that. It's not like I'm like I love things like that, but I didn't think it was bad. And like it was just funny because afterwards they're like, yeah, we did this for an endless time, and I already think you're an asshole. Like when Jerry said that to Rick, like. It was like the aftermath that I thought was funnier.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really like, it was just like ridiculous. Like I did like the part where like Jerry is like this like deer or something and he's like eating leaves. Like visually it was funny. Like it was entertaining. Like obviously it was really stupid, but like I did enjoy it.
Yeah, we had like the Jerry as the gazelle and Rick as the lion visual going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think of that sequence, Michelle?
It was really, I was a bit cute because then it was cutting back between that and them being nude and like rolling around, and I was like, wait, what is this supposed to be? I don't think so, because when he's like chomping on the deer, it seems like wants to eat him, but he's not. I don't know. I was probably overanalyzing it. I was a little confused, and like I thought it was a nice idea, but again, like at the end, like I guess the thing was to be like, oh, we've melded minds, so now we understand each other. But it was so quick that the fact that Rick shoots the other guy anyway doesn't, like, I didn't really care, because it's not like we spend a lot of time getting to know that other random guy.
Yeah.
So
they didn't do any.
That's supposed to mean more than it did to me. I don't know. It kind of felt that way though.
Yeah, they didn't do anything with it. I think
visually it was really interesting. Like you can tell the animators had a lot of fun, just like going crazy.
Yeah. And as somebody, I just caught up on BoJack Horseman, and there's a season one BoJack episode that also had a trippy sequence, and I wasn't feeling that one either. So this is like a consistent thing for me. I think that between last episode with some really funny dialogue just going way too fast and being incomprehensible, and this episode just running through plot in its second half, I think like we have a legitimate problem with going too fast with this show. Like I think it's better than going too slow. Like the show's trying to jam a ton of content in. But I think that we need to slow it down and give the audience time to digest certain parts. And do you agree with that, Delaney?
I do. Yeah, I do. Like, it's definitely like going faster than in like previous seasons. And it's not necessarily like the worst thing ever. But if they want to like, hit their marks, they need to slow it down a little bit. We're almost halfway-ish.
Yeah, we're halfway done with the season.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So hopefully maybe things will like slow down a little bit. I don't know. Granted, we haven't like, this is kind of also the first real like B plot we've had, like a B plot. And I think it kind of like, it had to stretch its shoulders a little bit. So I think it took up a bit of space. So I think that might also be why it's a little bit more noticeable in this episode.
Yeah, this was the most traditionally structured episode. We did have episode 2 had a B plot, but it was slightly abnormal. But and also like Pickle Rick kind of had a B plot that merged into its A plot. But yeah, this is a very traditional Rick and Morty episode. It did I feel like the last few episodes of the show felt different. This episode felt like kind of a mediocre season 1 episode to me, to be honest. But anyway, Michelle, do you agree with that criticism that the show's...
You really didn't like this episode.
No, there's its moments. I've quoted the stuff I liked, but do you agree with my criticism that it's going too fast? Michelle?
Yeah, and a part of I do, and part of me wonders if it's one of those things where like when you pitch something and you have like these very rough storyboard thumbnails and you're in a room full of your peers, it can seem really funny based on the way you're pitching it. Like a lot of these ideas are good ideas, but maybe like the fact that when it was translated there just wasn't enough time from like an audience perspective for some of those things to land the way they could have like seemed to have landed better in development. Like maybe that's like part of the problem. I don't know, but it's something I'm starting to wonder about.
Yeah, hopefully not too much of a trend. I think it's interesting because like this show is like known for like fast-paced dialogue, fast-paced humor. So it's like if you're kind of trying to stress on like, because it seems like they were in writing this new season, okay, we just got to make another great season of Rick and Morty and just be like another good Rick and Morty season. We're known for being like really fast paced and like having tons of stuff packed in. Like that it almost is like falling in on itself, like the structure of the show. Like we're trying to replicate the show's sense of humor too much to the extent that it's going too fast, which isn't to say that the season is failing to any extent. I think that there's an argument like halfway in that we're on pace to be the best season of the show. Yeah, I think that it's like, given what I've heard Dan Harmon talk about with like they're like, okay, we got to live up to expectations. That makes sense to me why they just like increase the pace. And I think
we'll have to see if this continues for the second half of the season too.
Yeah, and not to spend too much. And yeah, I think it's a mistake to have that mindset because just make the show. Don't worry about expectations or anything like that. Anyway, okay, let's talk Jerry and like the Rick and Jerry episode, Rick and Jerry Adventure. Delaney, Jerry expert. What did you think of Jerry here? Like, what do you think of his and Rick's interactions? They kind of air it all out, and we end up at a similar place. How'd you feel about all that?
Well, I really like in the beginning of the episode, we see how like sad and pathetic Jerry's life is right now. That's pretty good.
Yeah, we had our sad
Jerry sucks so much. Like he's trying to make his place any better. Like why? Just makes me hate him more.
I think.
Well, he's in a motel. Like it's not like he can like do anything.
Yeah, the best.
He could scrape that mold off the ceiling instead of just looking at
Jerry, eat it. Okay. I mean, I really like the interactions. Like, it was just, like, we all know Jerry sucks, and we all know Rick is, like, awful, but we also know that, like, it was nice to have this kind of, like, because Jerry's made comments before about how, like, the only reason they're together is because, like, Jerry got Beth pregnant, but, to actually, like, kind of, like, say it, and then, like, to actually have a conversation about it was really cool. And, like, interesting, like, we're kind of going somewhere. I mean, Jerry is still the worst person ever. Like, he's just awful. Like, I hate him. He sucks. And it was just nice to have it, like, verbalized.
No sympathy for Jerry in this episode, Delaney?
No,
none?
No.
Oh, my gosh. None? Michelle?
Well,
no.
The line that really stuck with me was when Rick was like, that's Rick's daughter. Like, she had a future. She had options. Like, that was like, oh boy, no wonder.
Like, oh shit.
It's the thing is, like, yeah, Jerry sucks, but Rick's a fucking asshole. Like, you don't.
It's different though. Like, he is an asshole, but like, it's different.
I don't feel more sympathy for Rick than I do for Jerry. Absolutely not. Do you guys?
No, I don't think it's about sympathy. I think I just hate Jerry more than I hate Rick. Yeah. It's all I think it's about sympathy.
Which I think is like intentional on the show's part and understandable, but also undeserved. Rick is much more of a destructive person. So I think that he deserves our scorn more, but he's just more of a sympathetic figure just because he's charismatic.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
I suppose that's true.
we must shit on Jerry though. So, we kind of aired it all out. Yeah, we had this, she had potential. Beth, is only like this because you brought her down, says Rick. But also, we had, Jerry saying that everything was fine with him and Beth before Rick moved back in with them. I don't know, just, it's kind of all aired out in the clearest way possible for us. How do you think of that was presented, Michelle? And, what do you think do you think the status quo has changed of the show? Or do you think that, Rick's still in good, Jerry's separated? That's what it seems like.
Yeah, that's what it seems. I mean, I think we were all kind of wondering, like, what this episode was going to do for Jerry. Like, was he kind of have a moment where he, like, is more assertive and tries harder to get his family back? But no! Like, all this episode did, in my eyes, is, like, confirm exactly why we should hate Jerry. He doesn't do anything to help himself. Like, and, like, Rick did such a good job of, like, monologuing why he sucks so much. And I was, like, sitting there listening to these reasons, like, oh my god, yeah! Like, he survives because people feel bad for him. He doesn't try and make his life better. He doesn't assert himself at all. He's just really sad, and he doesn't do anything. It's like, man, yeah, I really don't like Jerry. And at the end, when he was, like, he had that one chance to, like, leave and be like, okay, well, like, this is my life. Like, I'm just gonna, like, deal with this. And Rick's like, yeah, good for you. And he's like, well, actually, I left my wallet and I don't have a bus fare. It was like, damn it, Jerry.
No,
like,
that
you
is
change it all.
That is not fair. He left with
just made me so mad.
Michelle, he left with
can't even have dignity.
Michelle, he
lost that too.
Michelle, he left with no pants. He genuinely did not have his wallet or his bus pass. This was not a.
Well, he would have been. I mean,
this is unfair. These are unfair criticisms. Oh my god, go
just
over.
Like, oh man, it made me hate Jerry just as much. Like, it just reconfirmed everything. I thought it might change, but it didn't change anything for me.
No, there's no chance of you changing your opinion. That was not. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
What does he do? What does he do in this specific episode, though? I think he almost does nothing unsympathetic in this specific episode.
He gets upset from a comment and decides that that's enough to warrant him, like, helping people murder Rick. That's, like, pretty bad.
He totally should murder Rick, though. Like, Rick's, like, he was in the right on that. Like, Rick destroyed his life intentionally. Not that he should murder him. Like, not that I'm endorsing that, but, Rick is like a plague on so many people and causes so many deaths. It's not like, I don't think he's wrong there.
I guess not. I just really don't like Jerry.
Like, I thought that was like the Jerry's best moment ever. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna go along with them and do this. But then he reverted back when he heard one nice thing, and it's like, oh.
But it's one.
He's a little bitch. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Jerry's just a little bitch.
It's like, it took one nasty comment for him to be like, okay, fine, I'll kill him. And then it took one nice comment for him to be like, oh, never mind. Like, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, that's what's so frustrating about him. Rick,
like, kind of cops to ruining Jerry's life here, but it's not even to full extent. He's like, yeah, I guess I
make things harder by existing around you guys.
Yeah, that's all he says. No, he went on this all episode 1 planet specifically to fuck up Jerry. Like, Jerry, like, airs everything out, and Jerry's completely punished for all his past behaviors in this episode, but, like, by Rick. But Rick is not. Rick is, he's gets off kind of scot-free, and, just totally does not admit all his faults to Jerry here. It's not like a pissing contest. It doesn't, they're both assholes and they've both done shitty things, but, I don't know. I think Jerry was justified with going along with this scheme. What do you think of that, Delaney?
I mean, I think it's easy to be like, well, Rick is worse. That's just because Rick is capable.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Jerry can't do anything. Capable. Like Jerry sucks. Yeah, I mean, they're both awful. Like they're both. Yeah, like, they're not Rick good people. Is not a great person. Like Rick is like the worst. I don't know. Like it's just like I think it's also the kind of person Jerry is. Like it's like I'm not going to root for you. You actually suck. Like you absolutely suck.
I love Delaney so much right now. I feel so validated.
You guys,
like, he's just the worst.
I'm forced to take the defensive Jerry position just because of you two. So
you're not forced. You don't have to go to that side.
We must equally present all sides here on the podcast. So Jerry, like, I think that a lot of the hatred towards Jerry is because he carries like unsympathetic traits, and not because of like anything objectively terrible about him. It's like we prefer that Rick is capable, whereas Jerry can't do anything right. But there's nothing inherently wrong or right with either of those things. Like, obviously it would be better to be capable, but it's not like Jerry's a bad person because he fucks everything up.
He's just really annoying. Like, that's the thing. Like,
yeah,
he's just super annoying.
Yeah, he definitely
is. I do think, I mean, Jerry has done things that, like, if he hadn't done anything, there wouldn't be anything wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think there have been more unsympathetic parts to Jerry in the series. I think this episode is not necessarily one of them. I don't know.
Well, I don't think this episode makes Jerry like look worse. I just hate him. Like, but like, I mean, I think this is a really good Jerry episode. Like him and Rick talk, and it's like interesting, and we see Jerry almost do something. And then there was one redeeming moment was when he attempted to keep him from shooting them. And then he was like, I'm still not going to shoot you. Like, you're not even brave. And then he, like, bit him or whatever. There was, like, one moment where Jerry tried to do something, and then he returned to being a little bitch.
I think Jerry tried to do a lot of things here, but he just kind of changes his mind because he's easily manipulated, I guess. But, he initially goes along with the plot. I guess that's him just following people. But, yeah, he specifically tries to change when they're on the Whirly Durly and later. And, I don't know. I don't know how much I took away from the Rick Jerry stuff here. Like I got a lot more out of the Beth Rick stuff from Pickle Rick.
Right.
Yeah, like that like actively was interesting to me. This dynamic, while like was a great progression for some of the characters and the dynamics. I don't know. I wasn't super invested in it.
Well, I think I think this is a bigger Rick episode, and that Rick, like, actually was like, yeah, I fucked up. And he didn't own to everything, but, like, the fact that he said anything.
Yeah,
because we're used to Rick just being like, no, like, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care about you, or, like, I'm awesome. I do everything I want to do.
I wonder how much of Rick in this episode is genuine and how much of it is like Jerry manipulation. Like obviously dumb Rick is genuine. He's like forced to be. Although it does make me wonder like, well, why, if Rick's really the smartest person on the planet, why can't he account for this? Just like a standard like TSA check with this species. Like wouldn't Rick have some sort of enhancement that would prevent this? So that kind of felt cheap to me, to be honest. But yeah, like how much of, like, it seems like Rick's being genuine with Jerry, but then he is kind of like, dampening like what he says with his culpability in kicking Jerry out of the house. So like he's not giving the full extent of that. And you kind of have to assume that everything he's doing with Jerry is through the lens of like, I just want Jerry to do what I want. I want like Morty to be placated. By the way, random aside on that. This is another Rick not doing what he wants episode right after the Morty punch card. Let's go on my choice of adventure. So
right. Like, I guess he really, like, he's just like, fine, Morty, like, fine.
Yeah, well, 2 in a row. I don't know. That's a big win for Morty. I don't know about that. Although I'm unclear on Morty's motivations later because he's like, I tricked Rick into doing that just so I could be done with all this for a second. It didn't even seem like he really cared about the helping Jerry, what Morty did.
It just seems like he's just like, I just wanted a break from the bullshit.
Yeah, which might be the plot of next episode too. But, yeah, that wasn't really expanded upon. I think that's another interesting topic. They didn't really do anything with that, but, that might be next episode. So, What was my original point here? How much of Rick is genuine? What do you think about that, Delaney? Like, Rick comes across very genuine to us, but he is just talking to Jerry in this episode the entire time. So,
right.
It's maybe more manipulative. What do you think about that?
I mean, I don't think it's like more manipulative. I mean, I don't think Rick, like, saying these things to Jerry really, like, served Rick in any way. Like, other than maybe, like, one, in that Rick didn't know Jerry was going to try and kill him. He didn't know that. So there wasn't really, like, a point in, like you can kind of tell that, like, Rick maybe doesn't hate Jerry as much as he acts or whatever, but, like, what he did served a purpose. He's trying to, like, better Beth's life. He has, like, a master plan or something. And, like, you know, when it's just him and Jerry, it's like it doesn't really matter that much. And, like, there just wasn't a lot of purpose in him, like, kind of lying to Jerry. So I think I think he might have been as genuine as much as Rick can possibly be genuine, because we don't really know how capable he is of doing that. He always has stuff, like, close to his chest, but I do think, like, you know, there's not a lot of reason for him to lie at this point. And he thinks Jerry is stupid. Like, he doesn't, like...
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that kind of thing. Like, just being like, it doesn't really matter what I say here, and, like, he was also drunk. Well, they had been drinking. So, yeah, there's that, too.
All constant with Rick, I think we've established at this point. But, yeah, Michelle, we're talking about, like, how genuine is Rick being with his behavior towards Jerry in this episode? And Delaney's like,
I think he's really genuine, actually. I thought, like, the whole episode was, like, a huge ruse to, like, show Jerry sucks more. But he accomplished that without that being the agenda at all. It really was, like, a pity mission that Morty asked him to go on with him. That was actually the goal, which totally surprised me. I get the impression, especially from the ending, that, like, maybe what Rick really hopes for is that Jerry just stops being so stupid and spineless and, like, becomes a person worthy of liking, which he does not seem capable of doing at this point. But, like, yeah, I think he was being real with him the whole time.
Okay. Yeah, I also got that impression, but I do think it's worth considering because we know there's at least one manipulative element of this with Rick withholding the amount of that, as I talked about multiple times. So, yeah, I think that's a potentially interesting topic. Yeah, so this Rick Jerry thing. What's Jerry's future on the show now? Like, it seems like we're just going back to status quo here. Like, ultimately, I think this doesn't really change anything. Maybe, like, emotionally with the relationships. What do you think, Delaney?
Yeah, I still think we're kind of, like, where we are, especially considering, like we're where we were, like, before this episode, especially considering, like, Jerry, like, kind of did some stuff and then he didn't do some stuff because he sucks. Absolutely. But, like, I'm waiting kind of to see if Morty goes and talks to Jerry, because, like, we've had Summer talk to Jerry, but, like, it seems like Morty is, like, kind of avoiding it. So it'll be interesting to see, like, where we go from here in that respect. And, like, I think we will refer to stuff, and, like, maybe if there's, like, a conversation between Jerry and Beth, you know, Jerry being like, your dad, blah blah blah, like, throwing some shit out. So, but yeah. I think we're still kind of, like, where we were, like, because that's just the nature of who Jerry is. Like, I don't think there was really any personal growth on Jerry's part, other than he may have learned something, like, about Rick. And, like, you know, learning, like, that Rick, you know, like, you know, we're finally getting, like, Rick admitting to what Jerry's known all along or whatever. But, like, I mean, Jerry's still a piece of shit and he's not going to do anything.
Yeah, probably not much of a change on...
I would be shocked if he got a job. Like, I would be so shocked.
Oh my god. Yeah, how long can he last there on whatever savings he has in that sad little motel?
Beth's probably supporting him, I would say.
Oh my god, yeah, Jerry's the worst.
I don't want to do the Jerry gets a job plot again. We did that. Not interested.
I agree.
Not interested. Michelle, any ramifications here regarding Jerry's dynamic with the rest of the family?
I think we've established, because, like, one thing that we did get out of this episode was that, like, Summer had a problem and Beth, like, ended up doing the good mom thing and talking it out with her and becoming a nasty flesh monster too. And Morty, like, stuck up for her by, like, messing with the guy that she used to like because he made her insecure about her body. Like, this seems like an A+ win for the family without Jerry around, and that seems great. So they're doing just fine.
Would you say Morty's taking over the the supportive role that Jerry was not filling.
He's just being a good brother. I mean, his role's the same, but he's still pretty good at it, like all things considered.
I feel like Morty wasn't this proactive in supporting his mom and sister before in the series. I feel like he's
that's
developed.
What's interesting about it is that, like, with Jerry being the spineless shit he is, also in this episode we have Morty like screaming at everybody and just being like, "Oh my god."
Yes.
And like, I'm so done with all of you. And like, it's clearly Rick's influence, but like, it's kind of interesting. Like, we're seeing like, you know, Morty's kind of getting some shit done and like has some ideas, and so does Beth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think
when you take out the weak link, other people rise to the occasion.
Okay. I feel like we've had a sufficient amount of Jerry shitting here. We filled our quota. Let's talk
Yeah, I'm starting to feel a little bad.
No, you're not. You don't feel bad for Jerry.
I'm not. I don't feel bad.
Let's go through the rest of the episode. We talked about a lot of it already, but let's any quotes we missed. We talked about the sad Jerry opening in the beginning. I think the highlight.
It's pretty good.
I think the highlight of that is him seeing
good.
like the design on the ceiling and then like filling in for the
so sad.
The family, like just the stupid generic shape. Yeah. He's no time for pants. I'll make you a pair of pants on the way. Doesn't really ever happen. Although he does have pants, so.
He gets pants
somehow. It's a Rick and Jerry adventure, Rick and Jerry episode. Not expanded upon. The fourth wall breaking, just there again. He told Morty, I'd take you out to give you a win. It's a pity adventure to keep me from killing myself, says Jerry. What do you think it was? An execution? Because you really do need a win. And if I'd wanted to kill you, I get it. It'd be amazing. I thought that was...
Yeah, that was pretty good. I get it. It'd be amazing. Yeah, I thought that was funny.
And Rick also says, Jerry, if I made pants, they'd be better than pants you'd get at home. I want Rick to expand upon that. How would his pants be better?
Like, I'm like, make some pants. I want to see what kind of cool shit's in these pants.
Yeah. Are they like cybernetically enhanced pants? We do see Rick's jacket blow up later in the episode, so I guess that's how his clothes are superior.
Oh, okay. I know the highlight of my episode now. Okay. I figured it out. The highlight is when they go into the restaurant or whatever, and like Rick gets skewered immediately, and then and then he like kills the other guy. Like that whole like, I was like, oh my god, now I know why there's a hole in his shirt. And then it's like, oh no, no one can die. Like, I think that's the highlight for me.
Yeah, it plays really well not knowing what's happening, yeah. With Snoopy bloopers. It's the most Rick and Morty name good. Ever. Like, what if she's just Snoopy bloopers. Here's one of my favorite lines that I forgot to mention. Jerry's like, it looks fancy in here. Rick says, Jerry, for all you know, you're at an alien truck stop. You've no frame of reference. You're in a universe beyond your imagining. But yes, it's super fancy.
That was funny.
That's what I was like. You've no frame of reference here. What the fuck
like, you don't know if this is cool or not.
He did go to that one planet in episode 2 of last season, but yeah.
Well, he went to Jerry Daycare.
Yeah, he went to Jerry Daycare. I think he saw the planet too, but I don't know. Yeah, I really like that line. With the Snoopy bloopers with the killing each other thing. We see the kids shooting each other. Okay, but still bad parenting. Hey, rich assholes, rich a-holes being rich a-holes. Pays off incredibly well later in the episode.
Oh my god. I was like, oh my god, no.
Lisa? Yeah. So good.
I
was loving it. It's the place to take the most fragile being on the universe. The stuff with the Jeff Goldblum alien, that was interesting. Interesting bonding moment between Rick and Jerry. Starting off this B plot with Summer with Mom. Do you think I'm hot? Like, this felt reminiscent of me towards this Summer thing last season with her responding to Jerry like it's like you're doing this, and she just goes on a speech like, what the fuck do you want me to say here? I feel like this is like great Summer interacting with her parent moments. Yes. How do you think? What do you think of Beth's response to her?
I mean, it's a good response, but it's not very supportive or helpful to her hysteric teenage daughter. Also, like, what the fuck are you doing, Beth? Like, her little, like, hoof collage. Like,
yeah, let's talk about Beth's hoof collage.
God damn.
Were you feeling the Beth hoof collage here?
Oh, it was just, like, I didn't figure out that it, like, I just saw, like, the leg or whatever, and I was just like, I have no idea what this is. And then when finally Morty said something, I was like, oh my god. So I did like when she was like, "It's perfectly legal" or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah. Do you think it's a proper expression, Delaney? For do you buy what Beth says about it? Do you think it's healthy?
I mean, no, but like, is anybody in this family healthy? It's better than like probably anything else she could be doing.
But probably better than the conclusions they come to after therapy and Pickle Rick. Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think that's something that matters. Yeah, her reaction to that. Morty's like, "Cool Z's" to the hook lodge.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about Summer with the manual boob job. Yeah. Oh, we even talked about triple trunks. That's another side character.
That was pretty good.
Jerry's telling a fucking stupid story, and then Triple Trunks laughs, and Rick's like, "Yeah, of course he likes it. Motherfucker has 2 heads and 3 trunks." It's like a classic. You a fan of Triple Trunks, Michelle?
No, I mean, he's really weird, but it's just like, damn, Rick, that's pretty savage.
What? You were being...
He's right there.
What? You weren't being... Oh.
Jerry's different.
Oh, you were... Oh, savage.
We don't know anything about Triple Trunks. He seems chill.
Savage.
Except for liking Jerry's idea. That was
Triple Trunks says he knows a place where any bipedal... I guess Triple Trunks was bipedal, so yeah, so he knows. Yeah, that feels like a classic Rick and Morty line to me, though. He's 2 heads and 3 trunks, yeah. And then we meet Risotto Groupon. Yeah, wonderful name, Risotto Groupon. Assistant GM of the restaurant. I don't really understand the backstory, to be honest. It goes pretty fast. But
well, it sounds like Rick. It sounds like Rick is the reason the place exists.
Yeah, either he was the former management and then, Rick, put the new manager in charge and relegated Risotto, but, I don't know. Or he built it. Yeah, I don't really understand.
Granted, it also might not be related to the planet. It also could have been wherever they're from.
Yeah, that's true. It was like a resort planet. So maybe that's true. We haven't talked about one of the highlights, the most important things about the episode, Delaney. Jerry is the vagina guy.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Jerry wondered, sure. I mean, I've wondered about having a vagina.
And it's just the rest of the episode.
Okay, that was a very specific example pulled out of thin air. I don't want to be known as the vagina guy.
And then he is. It's pretty good. I enjoyed that. It's funny.
This is classic Jerry with the...
Yes.
No reason to bring that up there. It was pretty random, I would say. What do we think of the Whirly Durly being the roller coaster here? I feel like this is a pretty... We were like, what the fuck is this title going to be? The Whirly Durly Conspiracy. And then it was pretty straightforward what it was.
It was actually very literal. Yeah. This title actually makes sense.
Yeah, I was surprised. Back to the B plot, we have Giant Summer, arguing over what do they call Rick. Beth's like, Morty, I need this.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it normalizes. It's too fast. We had a funny sequence here with Morty, being skeptical that normalize meant relative to humans. He's like, if a spider made it have 8 legs, and Beth is like, are you gonna give me the spiel about it like that flesh colored crayon? Which I didn't really understand at first, but it's like Morty's being like, flesh colored, why is it that color? That's normal to us and not people of different races. That's how it relates to the normalizing. So I enjoyed that one line.
No, I like to imagine a younger Morty getting pissed about crayons.
Yeah, is Morty suddenly a champion of progressive social issues? Is that what's happening here?
Maybe.
Seems like it from the flesh colored crayon. Beth wasn't having it. Then reversement, skin inside out.
That was great. Oh my god. That was I was like, oh man.
Yeah, it was, I was like, normalized, that felt too easy. It's like, okay, normal relative to how big they are, but, I was satisfied with by the way, why do the kids just have access to this Morphizer XE machine that Rick, why is Rick just keeping this around? And,
Rick doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. Things should keep going wrong here if Rick's leaving out the machines like this. I feel like we've had a few things like this though in the show. It's like, we've had other Rick devices cause mayhem, the classic Meeseeks box, yeah. Rick and Jerry talking, he says his heart still belongs to Beth. Buy or sell?
Sell.
Sell? I think I'd buy that.
Well, at this point, I don't even know so much, like, if they actually care for each other, or it's just, like, they've been together for so long, and now it's really even more about pride for Jerry.
Yeah, that could be true. I think the problem is that, like, they're done. His heart shouldn't still be for Beth. Like, that's a bad thing, but
right.
I do potentially buy it, though. Yeah, talked about his great until Rick moved in, major issues since you guys met, the Whirly.
We might be getting to some, like, territory in that, like, yeah, it's sad or whatever, Jerry, but it's like, you gotta get over it. Like, you're getting a divorce. Like, it's not up to you anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that'd be interesting. Yeah. I mean, that's basically, like, Jerry doesn't seem over it. He's, like, completely not moved on with any aspect of his life. So that might be the next act for Jerry. The roller coaster action sequence, I thought that was good.
I really liked it. Like, it was just pretty funny because, like, you can't die. So it's just, like, absurd roller coaster that, like, makes no sense.
Yeah. The snake thing eating Jerry. They have their whole back and forth about that. Rick, like, needs him to be in the snake pile to attract, the vagina monster that we saw in the trailer.
Yes.
Yeah.
The vagina
I was
monster.
unsatisfied with the amount of vagina monster on.
Me too.
Yeah, he was just there for a second. Then Jerry getting hit with the ball sack. I assume you like that.
That was pretty good. That was really good. That was funny.
Yeah, we talked about...
I really liked the fight sequence on the Whirly Dirly because, like, it was just, like, funny because, like, they kept dying. Like, I really... Like, that gag, I'm like, good gag. I appreciate this.
Yeah, I think they played that well there. We talked about the more Pfizer customer service. Just as arrogant and irresponsible as Rick, I think, says Morty. So that's interesting. I think we are going down, like, a destructive Beth between this and the Pickle Rick episode.
Yes, I do think so.
Morty pointing that out. So I wonder how much we'll pay that off in later episodes. Gene is introduced. Mind your goddamn business, Gene. We thought there would be more to Gene, but I think that they were just trolling us at the live show. I think that Gene is not going to be in the show again, and there was just that one line, and it was much like the preview video for last episode where they're like, World Ender's gonna be the best villain ever, and it's like, no, he's not even alive in the episode, and now they're like, oh my god, Gene's this, like, great side character this season. They're like, it's just Dan Harmon and company trolling us, so
we're full of shit.
I guess I'm amused, but at the same time, I'm kind of mad. I'm a little mad. That was from...
Well, I just saw Spider-Man, and, like, the end credit scene for Spider-Man is, like, the fucking worst. Like, oh my god. So this isn't quite that levels of trolling.
Okay, but... interesting. I haven't seen it yet, so maybe I'll see. We talked about the dumb Rick, yeah. It's the synaptic...
Dumb Rick's so good. Like, I want cookies.
Yeah, synaptic dampener that blocks violent tendencies and controversial thoughts. Yeah, and then Jerry does the, like, fake punch at him and he flinches. Yeah, that's
it's like, bitch, are you having a controversial thought?
Oh, yeah, that's great. Back to the B plot. Notable. We have the first Jessica name drop in quite a while.
Right?
It's gonna be, Morty's like, it's gonna be super hot, like, her mother's gonna be Jessica. Now, I do know next episode Jessica will be making an appearance, so, I feel like this is why we're bringing it back up to reintroduce her character. Like, Adult Swim put out a while ago, like, the first minute for the next for episode 6 for some reason, and, it's like Morty's, I don't know if it's, but it's pretty funny. It's more, Jessica is like, just broke up with, whoever her boyfriend was. And it's like, Morty's like, now my chance. But then Rick's like, no, we have to go on an adventure. So, that's like the context for what they have. So,
that's going to be funny.
I wonder how much we'll pay off of the, Morty Jessica. Are we building up again? The one thing I really didn't like is the campsite with, the name someone gave up halfway through naming it Camp, Flabanaba. Like, I didn't get it. Like, am I missing something, or is it just like that?
I think it's just that.
Did you find that funny?
I mean, I didn't think it was, like, not funny. I don't know. Like, granted, I mean, I feel like I'm used to watching, I don't know, like, you know, in Kim Possible, there was Camp Wannaweep, and, like, they just, like, there's always just stupid
Okay,
camp
so I guess
names.
it's a parody of camp names. Okay. I guess that's the
yeah,
level
I think
deeper.
so.
But yeah, that didn't... Yeah, they didn't really do anything. There's just, like, it wasn't like, it's like, okay, that was one of those things like, okay, you named this, like, why are you making fun of the thing you named? But I guess it's a parody of camp names. Beth says, "Mama's coming and she cares about your titties." Thoughts?
That was good. That's might be the best Beth line ever.
I don't know about that. That's a bull.
It's up there. It's pretty good. It's quality line.
No other Beth lines come to mind, but yeah. Yeah, we talked about the wormhole thing. I like that Rick's cybernetic enhancement was like a suction cup thing that steals his gun instead of just being a gun itself.
No, that was so funny. And he like tries to grab it. Like that was really good.
Yeah.
Especially since we've seen that little shot so many times in the previews.
Yeah, I think that paid off well from seeing it in the trailer. Cosmic apotheosis wears off faster than salvia, says Rick.
That was pretty good.
They had the whole thing with the wormhole. You have to take it out for dinner first.
You can say the dinner joke or the breakfast joke. Yeah. You can't say both. That was I
kind of like that. This is very similar to the PA system last episode, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if either landed, but yeah. The end of the B plot. I love. I don't even remember her fucking name anymore, but Trisha. What? I'm trying to find it on my notes, but random girl that Ethan's with is she's like, "Oh my god, I have to call my mother."
That was good.
This playing that as like a big like woman moment. It's pretty great. You made threatening Morty as in Morty is being threatening. You made my sister cry, Ethan. Careful, Ethan, your s'more is burning.
That was pretty good. Like I enjoyed that, and like he just like taps the machine.
Yeah. And then he goes through with it. We learn so interesting. And then the Rick and Jerry part ways. No, but Wild and Bus Pass. Then the stinger with the Morphizer men. We see Weird Ethan. That's a 422. No work talk. And then the Hawk takes them. What do you think of the stinger?
I don't think it was like hilarious. I liked how they were like when they were talking. It was kind of funny, and then like seeing Ethan, of course, was like the highlight of the stinger. But like I agree, the stinger isn't really like that great. Like it's like oh whatever. It's not like I cared about the tiny men.
Mm-hmm.
Did you care about that? Randomly, Michelle's back. Did you care about the tiny men, Michelle?
I know. God, this has been the worst internet shenanigans tonight.
Michelle's been having problems. That's why she hasn't been talking. Yeah.
My apologies.
Yeah. Thoughts on the stinger?
It was too fast. Like they were all out in the open. It seemed like one of them something was gonna happen, and then I was like really disappointed with Ethan because like we had a prime moment for something really funny, but then he was just like, okay, Michelle, it wasn't as funny.
Back to the penis shrinking thing. Okay, got it. Okay. Overall, Michelle, while we still have you, would you say above average, average, or below average episode?
I would say average. Definitely not below average to me. I thought it was pretty okay. Like, and I had Jerry for a lot of it, and like even then it was still pretty okay, and that feels like a pretty big achievement. So I'd say average.
Average despite Jerry, says Michelle. High praise there. Yeah. What say you, Delaney?
Is there I'm like between average and above average. Like it was good. Like,
some tier between those two.
Yeah.
I think that means above. I think that means above.
I feel that
above average doesn't mean top tier episode, So I feel like you're saying above average.
Ish. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Like I don't. Ish. Yeah. I mean, I liked it. I think it was. I mean, I don't think it's like. I don't know. Maybe it's average. I don't know. Like I think you've made me like it less, like a little bit.
Oh.
My job here is done.
Oh,
that's clearly my intent.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Have we helped you like it a little more though in return, Dylan?
No.
Oh.
So yeah, we'll see.
Dang, and you were the one rooting for Jerry.
Yeah, I mean, I know. Okay. I was just taking his side on these in the bashing. I also don't like Jerry, obviously, but
no one likes Jerry.
No one can like him.
Yeah, definitely a below average episode for me. We'll see. I think generally consensus has been with you guys and not me, but we'll see what our panel has to say later on in a week in that podcast. In addition, so that'll be later. You can find our iTunes feed, overlyanimated.com/iTunes, or search for Rick and Morty Overly Animated. In addition, on that feed, we'd love if you gave us reviews. We have, as promised in the panel, which you guys weren't on, so you know this, but I said I'd read an iTunes review. We got it. We have an iTunes review by Lucy Loves Owlies. So our iTunes review of the week. Yeah, I didn't expect like cute names for the Rick and Morty reviews, but
I also like owlies. That's very sweet. Shut up!
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm glad we got you back to me for that moment. Okay.
That was great.
if you leave us an iTunes review, I'll read it probably on this podcast. So yeah, we really would appreciate more iTunes reviews, specifically on our Rick and Morty feed, but also on our main feed as well. Lucy says, I've spent most of my summer away from home at various music camps, and I didn't meet anyone who watched Rick and Morty, so I didn't have anyone to talk about season 3 with. I'm pretty shy and introverted. I didn't mind sitting alone in the cafeteria. It was nice to have your Rick and Morty podcast to listen to while I had my lunch. I had satisfied my need for Rick and Morty discourse. Also, I enjoy listening to your podcast while running. As a fellow animation enthusiast, I really appreciate your work. Thank you, smiley face. Thank you, Lucy.
What a nice person.
Aw, smiley face bat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guess my friend Delaney.
Yeah, I think discourse is generous, but it's fine. Is this podcast achieved discourse levels? That you can tell us in the comments. That's what we'll say. But yeah, leave us iTunes reviews and we'll potentially read your review next week. Coming up, as mentioned, it is, rest and Ricklaxation next week. Which is the very funny preview of them like freaking out and being like, we're in way over our heads here. We almost died so many times. So I'm interested to see how they pay that off. Like, where are we going next? Because that's the beginning of the episode. So
like, I feel like it's not going to be like that at all. Like, it's going to be like the first like 30 seconds. And then after that, it's going to be like, oh, we're just at this alien spa.
Yeah, no, that is the first.
JK. Yeah, I feel like that could totally
It
happen.
is the first minute of the episode. Yeah. So, it's, because Adult Swim released that clip earlier. So, yeah, it's interesting to see where that goes. Also of note, looking ahead, I think it's looking possible we have the week after next week, no Rick and Morty, potentially for Labor Day. So, that's what it says on the schedule right now. We'll see if that happens. But, so next week it's new, potentially the week after not new.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Final thoughts, Michelle, on the episode.
I probably won't rewatch this one again, just mostly because Jerry's in it. But maybe just the summer stuff, and then just the B plot. Maybe that one was still pretty fun.
You'll just watch the B plot, and Michelle's gonna watch the extended cut of Rick and Morty, which is actually a opposite of extended cut, where Jerry is just cut out of the show.
No. Yeah, that sounds pretty fun.
That's next fan vid. Yeah, that's it. That's the, where's our compilation? Yeah. Okay. Delaney, final thoughts here?
This episode lived up to how much I hate Jerry, so I appreciated how much Jerry was shit on. So, yes! And that to me, this episode was a success.
That's the best review anyone could possibly get for this episode. What Delaney just said. Don't read any reviews online from any people who are paid to write about these episodes. That's all you need to take away.
Yeah, we'll start Delaney and Michelle shit on Jerry.com. That's what we'll do.
Oh my god.
That'll be as part of it's our new blog segment is each week Michelle and Delaney shit on Jerry now. I forgot to mention our Patreon. Check us out, patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you very much to all of our patrons, especially our patron of the podcast, Hope, aka Katara, and thanks as always to our patron executive producers John, Ryan, Steve, Alex, and Andy. We'll see you guys on the panel discussion where there may or may not be as much Jerry shitting on as I don't know if I use that verb tense right, shitting on, but as this podcast.
You're worrying about that
now.
Yeah,
I'm worrying about that now. But so we'll see what our panelists have to say about the episode. Leave us comments, leave us reviews. Thank you guys very much for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.